السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be privileged to be with you and also to welcome you to our 8th session of Foundation 1B. الدرس الثامن, Lesson 8, and this is Module 7. This class might seem difficult. It really is not. It's not difficult, inshallah. It's just an introduction to the subject. So please be patient with us and with the dars, and inshallah it will come together very quickly if you are patient and you go over it consistently. The whole idea about all of these information that you're getting is to go over it until you understand it and until it can flow in your system, inshallah. In this session, we will introduce the final concept that we want to discuss relative to all verbs for this foundation. The different patterns for other than the three-lettered verbs. Summary of information relative to verbs. Notes about conjugation. First note, in the Hans-Wehr dictionary, the three-lettered verb is referred to as the form 1 verb. Okay? It is called the mujarrad. B. So up to the present time, we basically studied conjugation for form 1 verbs. Except we introduced aslama yuslimu islamun, af'alu yuf'ilu if'alun. We use the form 1, the three-lettered verbs, to begin conjugations because it is the easiest of all the forms and patterns to work with for conjugations. The patterns of the conjugations for the form 1 verb are the same patterns that apply to all the other forms of verbs. So all the patterns, all the prefixes and suffixes that are added to these verbs in the different aspects or the different parts of their conjugation, they are all for all the verbs that you're going to learn. Thus, if you have a good grasp of the conjugation of the form 1 verb, that is a three-lettered verb, the other 9 forms would be easy to understand, inshallah. On the other hand, form 1 verbs are more difficult than all other forms because there is no way to predict the middle vowel. You must memorize the past and present tense forms and the masdar forms for all of these because they vary. With the other forms that we are going to study, the additional forms, the additional 9 forms that we are going to study, inshallah, they are very consistent. So each verb of form 1 is unique, but all its conjugation follow one pattern. Okay, the conjugation, the prefixes and suffixes that are added only follow one pattern. For every verb, all we need to have in order to conjugate it is a third person singular form. That is the form for huwa. An example being fa'ala yaf'alu. So all we memorize as long as we have a grasp of the scale is fa'ala yaf'alu, since all the other patterns are derived from them. That is, as long as we know them, everything else can be deduced, inshaAllah. So as long as we memorize fa'alat, fa'ala, fa'alata, fa'alu, it is going to be the same for all. Yaf'ala, yaf'alu, taf'alu, yaf'aluna, yaf'alani. As long as we memorize these patterns, inshallah, everything is going to fall into place because the forms are consistent. The prefixes and the suffixes are consistent. So, in this slide, inshallah, we are dealing with verb scale, or we call it patterns or forms, right? That's what is used. The scales of the verb, or the patterns of the verb, or the forms of the verb. And this is called the wazn or the awzan. Verbs consist of either 3 letters or 4 letters as the basic root. It's called mujarrad. Both have 2 broad categories. Al-mujarrad. This is the basic root, which is the bare root. 3 letters, fa, ayn, and lam, or 4 letters. We will discuss this as we go on, inshallah. Okay, but they are both called mujarrad. And that is the bare root. And al-mazid, which means increased. So if you increase on any one of these, the 3 letter or the 4 letter, is called mazid. So it's mujarrad and mazid. There are 10 popular verb forms or patterns or scales in use today that have 3 letters as its root. Form 1 is al-mujarrad, which has 6 patterns. So form 1, which is the 3-lettered verbs, fa, ayn, and lam, that is called form 1 in the Hans-Wehr dictionary. It's called form 1. There are 9 other patterns that are mazid. The mujarrad form has 6 patterns which we dealt with and we learned and we revised and we talked over a lot of times. And the rest are al-mazid, which have 1 or 2 or 3 additional letters. We already discussed the form 1 verb, that is the 3-lettered verb, and its 6 categories, which are, we're going to just revise them here, fa'ala yaf'ulu, like kataba yaktubu. Second one is fa'ala yaf'ilu, jalasa yajlisu. Third one is فعل يفعل ذهب يذهب is the example. فعل يفعل سمع يسمع. That's the 4th category. The 5th category is فعل يفعل ورث يرث. The 6th category is فعل يفعل كثر يكثر. So those are the 6 categories for the mujarrad, the triliteral verbs that are the base root. They are the base root. They have 3 letters, fa, ain, and lam as a base, so they are called mujarrad. Okay. In this class, we are going to discuss all the major forms that are derived from form 1, that is the 3-lettered verb. They fall into 3 categories. ما زيد فيه حرف واحد. That's the first category. ما زيد فيه, زيد زاد. زاد means to increase. ما زيد فيه, in it, in the verb. What increases in the verb? حرف واحد, 1 harf. Verbs that are increased on the 3-lettered verbs by 1 harf, 1 letter. These have 3 forms. Okay, we'll discuss that inshallah as we go on. ما زيد فيه حرفان. Verbs that are increased on the 3-lettered verbs by 2 letters. There are 5 forms. Okay, as we see here, ما زيد فيه is right here again. Verbs that are increased. In it, 2 letters, right? 2 letters are increased in the verb. ما زيد فيه ثلاثة, 3 letters. أحرف. Verbs that are increased on the 3-letter verbs by 3 letters. Although there are a few forms for this one, we are only going to discuss 1 form, inshallah, since the others are rarely ever used in this time, inshallah, if at all. So we are still with verb scale patterns and the forms, inshallah. Note, while form 1 is the most complex, the other forms are regular and consistent. Okay, so they are regular and consistent, so it is easy to study and understand it. And it is encouraged to memorize them as follows, inshallah. Alright? ما زيد فيه حرف واحد. Those verbs that is increased to the 3-lettered verbs. There are 3 patterns we says here. So it is called, the first one is called form 2 verbs. And it is fa'ala. Notice here, we have it equal to fa'ala. An additional ain is added, right? This ain with sukun is added. Because we had fa'ala, remember fa'ala, we add an ayn with sukun, so it becomes fa'ala. The example is sallama yusallimu taslim. That's how you memorize it. Sallama yusallimu taslim. Fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'il. Sallama yusallimu taslim. Right? Form 3 verbs is fa'ala. Fa'ala yufa'ilu mufa'alatun. Right? So we have on the scale jahada. فعل جاهد يجاهد. The alamatul mudari is added here, so it becomes yujahidu. Notice this is changed from ha to he. Yujahidu, right? Mujahadatun. We're going to say that for now. Mujahadatun. So a meme is added in front of jahada. A ta marbuta is added at the back, so it becomes mujahadatun. The 4th form is form 4 verbs. We already discussed this, is af'ala. Like aslama yuslimu islamun. We did this before, so you go back to that dars inshallah. Af'ala aslama yuslimu islamun. Okay, so now the 2nd category is ma zida fihi harfan. Those verbs that 2 letters is increased on to the 3-letter word. So we have form 5 verbs, and these are all Roman numerals, and it is written like that, so that's why we are using it, because that's how the Wahans were having. Now look at this. Tafa'ala. Notice here we have fa'ala as a form 2, right? So the first, for where 2 letters are added, we still have an ayn added. So we bring down the fa'ala here and we add ta. So it becomes tafa'ala. So tafa'ala is equal to ta plus fa'ala. And the example is ta'allama yata'allamu ta'allum. Ta'allama yata'allamu ta'allum. Right? So the lam, the dhamma change, the fatha changes into a dhamma. for the masdar. These are all the masdar. Memorize it like that. The verb, the past tense, the present tense, and the masdar. Form 6 verbs. Notice we have fa'ala here. We added ta to it. Fa'ala, we bring on the fa'ala from here. We have ta to it. Tafa'ala. Tafa'ala. And the example is tanawala, yatanawalu, tanawul. Tanawul. Tanawala, yatanawalu, tanawul. The form 7 verbs follow on the scale in fa'ala. So we have fa'ala as the base and in is added to it. So it becomes in fa'ala. The example that is used is in kasara. In kasara, yankasiru. Yankasiru, inkisar. Inkisar. This one, here it changes, right? Yankasiru, inkisar. Now we go to the fourth forms. In this scale, that is form 8 verbs. It is if ta'ala. Notice, alif is added in front of it with a kasra. If, the fa takes a sukun, right? We have fa'ala still, right? And the ta is added in between the fa and the ain. So if ta'ala, right? Istama'a. If you look at this word, what does it come from? Sami'a. We did that already. If you look at this word, it comes from kasara. Okay? So istama'a, yastami'u. It follows the same patterns I did. This one takes the ainul kalima, takes the kasra. Yastami'u. Istima'un. Istima'un. Okay? Istima'un. Then we have form 9 verbs, which is if'alla. If'alla. Like ihmarra, yahmarru, ihmirar, ihmirar. Inshallah. This is the form 9 verbs. Okay? So the final category is ma zida fi thalathatu ahrufin. Those verbs that has a 3 letters increase on the 3-lettered vowel verbs. Right? The 3-lettered verbs. They have 3 letters increase on the 3-lettered verbs. Okay? And there's one form. Istaf'ala. Look, we have fa'ala here at the end. Alif, sin, and ta is added at the beginning. So it becomes istaf'ala. The example is istaqbala, yastaqbilu, istiqbal. Istaqbala, yastaqbilu, istiqbal. So these are the categories, inshallah. Memorize them like this. We are going to continue in this pattern for the next class, inshallah. Try to give you more examples on it so that it becomes easy for you and you can handle it like that, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand this. As I said, don't get confused with it. It is not something confusing. Just think about it. This is what you have to know anyhow. So it is the better thing to do is get it out of the way and study it and learn it early. So may Allah bless us and guide us and help us and strengthen us to do it best and give us the best in this world and hereafter and save us from hell. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.